He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
Going to cheerleading camp next to the abandoned insane asylum, it's like throwing your blood away.
50% of Americans like watching blood get spilled in horror movies, but only 3% donate it. Now that's scary.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Jared Moore, Tim Birie here on WBCO as we have Week 11 in the high school football season, Week 1 of the high school football playoffs here in the state of Ohio, and we have a matchup of the Colonel Crawford Eagles and the Margaretta Polar Bears, as the Polar Bears coming in to North Robinson to visit Colonel Crawford here tonight in a matchup which is a relatively similar teams in the fact that they're 8-9 within the polls in the Region 22 in Division 6. And what's looming next week for either of these teams is more than likely the Cary Blue Devils, and we've seen that matchup before so far this season with Colonel Crawford, but we can't look ahead to next week. We got to worry about this week.
Well, absolutely. Both teams got to, do what they do and trying to get to that one. I'm sure Crawford wants to do everything they can tonight to get that rematch. It was a 7-3 game, and, I'm sure they still in their, in their minds feel they should have won the game. I mean, they got stopped on down on the goal line, and when they made a couple mistakes down there, took a couple losses and didn't score when they had a first and goal on the 3-yard line. So, but you're right. They can't look past anything because it should be an 8-9 seed going against each other, so very little computer points separating them, and they're very similar. And so I just think it's a very even matchup tonight, and so I'm sure the team that makes the fewest mistakes is going to win the game.
Yeah, and Colonel Crawford and Margaretta both coming in with records of 8-2 in their respective seasons, and obviously, Colonel Crawford had that loss to Upper Sandusky, which wasn't expected, but it happened. This is a matchup where it is the 8-9 seed, so they definitely can't look past Margaretta, but at the same time, Margaretta has to control the rushing game for Colonel Crawford, and if they make Cam Lohr throw the football, that's really, I think, what they want to try and get out of this.
Well, but then what you got to be careful of is getting what you wish for, because if Cam Lohr is able to throw it, as we know, they have an explosive wide receiver to get it to in Vogt, and if he gets any space at all, he's able to get a lot of yards after the catch. And so they'll like to get a couple explosive plays, I'm sure, out of him, both in the passing game and the return game.
One thing that Crawford struggled with this year was hanging on to the football, at least running the football. A lot of fumbles in there. That's kind of what cost them the game against Upper Sandusky, so that's going to be key for them here tonight.
Oh, absolutely. They have an explosive offense, and we've done obviously several of their games, and with that explosive offense, they have those explosive plays, but then there's been times where it looked like they were really driving the ball really well, about to have an 8, 10, 11 play drive, and then they would fumble the ball. And, they just can't have that tonight because, ball control, I'm sure, is going to, be pivotal. Margaretta also a team that likes to really run the ball. But their problem is tonight their big explosive guy, their vote is Trevor Vogt is out. So Gage Bodie is out, and we'll get back to that after the national anthem.
All right, we'll be right back here on WBCO.
Down around the corner, half a mile from here, you can hear our band playing this song loud and clear. Our seniors tonight are leaving their hearts on CC's land and hoping Long Train Runnin' will make these kids continue to love this band.
Back here on WBCO, along with the OH Report. Jared Moore, Tim Birie here on the broadcast as we'll get back to this matchup. Number 8 and number 9, Colonel Crawford, the number 8 seed, obviously getting the home game here tonight. You talk about the main wide receiver for Margaretta out tonight. That was actually going to be one of my keys, was kind of containing him in this game, and it looks like that Crawford's not going to really have to worry.
Yeah,
about
apparently he was injured last week, and when you look at the statistics, he's caught almost half of the completions that Sosa has completed. He's caught half the balls he's completed, probably 2/3 of the yardage. I mean, he's caught 700 yards, I believe it was, worth of passes, and Sosa's just a little bit over 1,000. So, 3/4 just about of the yardage goes to Gage Bodie. But he's also a threat in the return game. He's their main returner, both in the punt and the kickoff, so much like Trevor Vogt. And so he's going to be out. And, boy, that could really change things for Margaretta. I mean, ultimately they want to run the football. They have a 220-pound running back and Sosa and Jake Boggs, and then Sosa also likes running the ball himself. And I remember watching him play basketball last year. He's quite an athlete. And so they would love to do that. But, Crawford's defense has been pretty stout against the run most of the year. We talked a little bit about the, Carey game, who their next matchup could be. And, Carey's a team that just wants to run the football. And that night it was a struggle for Carey. Carey only that a lot of that yardage when they completed a long pass.
Yeah, we talk about those keys and going back to them for Crawford. I mean, you kind of mentioned it there. Trevor Vogt on special teams. He needs to keep it up. Cam Lore, we talked about with his arm. I think he's going to have to play a big part with that because I think Margaretta can really stuff the running game. And then for Margaretta, I think they need to contain Cam Lore in the pocket, get pressure on him, along with giving Jake Boggs a heavy dose of runs inside. And like I said, I think you just need to make anyone beat you but Trevor Vogt.
Well, it's very similar in a way, some of the things for both teams now. One is because both teams want to really feature the run, would prefer to run, you got to get yardage on first down. You can't all of a sudden constantly be 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8 because you want to get to 3rd and short. especially important, I think, for Crawford because they like play action pass. So if they can have success running the football, then their play action passes and those big plays of Trevor Vogt will be there. But then again, Margaretta, especially important because, quite frankly, I don't know what their passing game is going to look at. So one of these other guys is going to have to step up. I mean,
and is that so with his legs? I mean,
and it could be because if I'm not mistaken, Bodie caught 43, 44 passes, something like that, Jared, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. And the next most catches out of a receiver was 9 after him. So, Souza was going to throw the ball to Bodie. And he didn't care if everyone knew he was going to throw the ball to Bodie. And it looked like that's as simple as it was. But, now he's going to have to try to have enough confidence to try to hit one of these other guys when it becomes an obvious passing down. And so, another one of those keys is probably going to be for Crawford to create passing downs, third and longs for Margaretta where they're going to have to throw the ball.
Tim, you've been in quite a few of these situations as a head coach. What's it like when you get to the playoffs? Is there something different inside the locker room when it comes to these types of games, or is it business as usual?
Well, you do your best to try to make it business as usual. But the difference is everybody in the locker room knows it's win or you're done. The kids understand it, so there's a little bit more pressure on them because they know this could be the end of the season, especially those seniors. When you're at schools this size and things, the majority of the seniors, this is the last time they're going to play football. A few of them are going to get to maybe play some college football at the Division II. In this game, from what we've heard and seen of guys at the Division II or III level, they may get to play. But again, that's only a handful of guys. So a lot of them, football is going to be over, depending what happens tonight, with which team goes down to defeat. And so there is a little bit more pressure. There is they've prepared. They've tried to do all they could to make sure they're ready for this game, and with their preparation and things. But yeah, as much as you try to say, yeah, it's just another game, guys, let's go out and play, the results are there. It's whoever loses, their season's over, their career's probably over. So there is a little bit more angst, a little bit more nervousness, and I think that's another one of those things, which team is going to settle down and turn it into a normal game for them.
We talk about the two conferences. You have the N10 and you have the SBC, both great conferences. Obviously some basketball tradition in there as well. But you look at both these conferences, and what's your expectation between the two teams? Is there a difference in the conferences? Does one have the upper hand over the other?
Well, I don't really think so this year, at least. You look at some comparables and some different things. It's not like they've played each other, but, in the way they've played, who they've played, out of conference and things like that, not a lot of crossover, if any. But I think they're very similar in that, you're looking at how many teams made the playoffs from each conference. Again, very similar. And so I think things are very evenly matched, but certainly with these conferences being, close in proximity, that certainly both Margaretta and Colonel Crawford both want to be the one that upholds their league.
Where does leadership come into play here tonight?
Oh, I think it's a big thing because, two evenly matched teams. So there's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some things where times where things aren't going well, and the leadership, especially on the field, is going to play a big part of this. And I think both teams have some really good seniors. I mean, Sosa is one of the captains, a 3-year letter winner. So he's been playing since he's a freshman. Luzader, another guy from Margaretta. He's going to gain his third varsity letter. J.T. Patrick is one of their captains. He's going to get his third varsity letter. Boggs has been playing, another one of their captains. So all those things will be important. And then on the other hand, you got Lore and and Clippard and all the guys from Crawford that have been playing a lot of football in these past few years. And so they're going to play a big part of keeping everyone focused, keeping everyone on an even keel, so that guys aren't losing their focus, losing their attention, and we make it a great game. And this is playoff football in Ohio, and it's a great time.
All right, just about set for kickoff here, and Margaretta deferred to the second half, so they will kick off, and Colonel Crawford will start this game with the football coming out in the all-black uniforms, yellow numbers. Margaretta, the away whites, green numbers with the white helmets and the black pants. Well, Polar Bears versus the Eagles.
Absolutely, and it'll be very interesting. I mean, everybody scouts each other to get plenty of film, but let's see right here, a big play, this kickoff. Where is the ball going to be kicked? Are they going to give Trevor Vogt a chance to return the kick? Will they squib kick it? Apparently in the scouting report, Crawford doesn't think. Well, and again, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, Bodie was also their kicker.
Austin Dillery readies the kick.
And so it looks like Crawford has snuck up to the 20-yard line.
Back deep for the Eagles, Lucas Foy.
And expecting not a very long kick.
So here we go. Set for kickoff. Thanks to the guys at the OH Report. Producer Hayden out there in the cold in front of the press box. He loves it. We're in a nice warm press box, but here we go. Kickoff underway. Crawford's going to field it at the 25-yard line. It's Lucas Foy who cuts up over to the 30 on the left side, and that's where Crawford will start possession here in tonight's contest. Number 8 versus number 9, Crawford and Margaretta.
Well, just before that kick, Foy and Vogt switched sides, and they still managed to make sure that they kicked it to Foy and not to Vogt. And now a big penalty.
Yeah, the face mask here is going to mark it all the way up.
Just a 5-yard.
It'll be a 5-yard penalty instead. So it'll be the 35-yard line where Crawford's going to start with the possession. 1st and 10, just underway here in North Robinson. And obviously your starting quarterback, Cam Lohr, will come out here on offense. And he has completed 67 out of 118 attempts, passing for over 1,300 yards, 20 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. And he's going to use his legs this time and cut up over the 35, but he's cut down right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard pickup there for Lohr.
One of the go-to plays that Crawford likes using is a little counter play by the quarterback, pulling those guys around and trying to get out in front of Lohr, but that big front 7 for Margaretta got the job done there. Margaretta, with the exception of their 2 losses, gave up very few yards all year defensively.
Yeah, 950 rushing yards on the season. They only gave up 8 rushing touchdowns, did Margaretta, so their defense can hold firm. Lohr's going to run it again, and this time he slips through the inside of the defense and cuts up over the 40-yard line and is chopped down at the 43. 2 yards shy of a first down is Cameron Lohr, but a much more manageable 3rd down now for the Eagles.
Yeah, just ran a little power to the off tackle, got a lead blocker out in front of him, and very manageable 3rd down now.
They'll send Smith in motion from left to the right side of that line on the wing T offense. They'll hand it Kleinard up over the 45, or was that Kleinard? It was actually Micah Thomas on the carry. And Micah Thomas picks up the first down here for Colonel Crawford.
Ran a staple in the wing T, just ran the belly off tackle, and good push by the Colonel Crawford line, and first down, Eagles.
Send 2 out wide to the left. Kleinard goes towards the right side of Lohr, and they'll send a couple in motion towards the left side of the line. The up back, Micah Thomas, bad snap, ball's loose for a second. Lohr does a nice job of picking it up, gets across midfield, down the left sideline, into Margaretta territory, finally shoved out of bounds inside the 45, and he does a great job. He didn't just make something out of nothing, he made a lot out of nothing.
Oh, absolutely. Showed great poise there, high snap, got one hand on it. Luckily, it bounced right up to him, and then Cam was able to get to the outside, gain 12 yards.
Looked like it was going to be an option regardless, so he was heading that way, and he gets to the Margaretta 40-yard line. 2 minutes into the game now, with 10:03 left to play first quarter. Colonel Crawford's opening possession here of the game. It's Lure in the gun, and he'll run towards the left side again, and he gets over the 40 and is pushed forward inside the 40 to the 37-yard line, Cameron Lure. And we've seen Lure continue to pound the football. It's only been Micah Thomas getting one carry, Lure keeping it the rest.
Yeah, in the past, Crawford has kind of done that, where they seem to feature a back for a whole series. And, then now they'll switch to Clippard maybe the next series and so on and so forth.
Kleiner gets to the 35 before he spun down and hit hard. Adam Heath in there on the tackle for Margaretta. Cameron Lure does average 7.2 a carry. He has 5 touchdowns, but he's also fumbled the ball and lost it 5 times as well.
Yeah, they just ran a little power off tackle with Kleinert, and 3rd and 5. And they're in a position where they probably have 2 downs, to be quite frank.
Yeah, can be a little conservative with this play call. Like you said, 3rd and 5 from the Polar Bears, or 3rd and 5 from the Polar Bears, 35. Lure in the gun, trips to the right. He's looking to throw that way. Lure steps back, and he's hit for a second. Flag flies. He's going to take off on it. Gets the first down, but we'll see if this is coming back as he gets to the 30. It'll be close to a first down regardless.
And it is a hold.
And it is a hold against Colonel Crawford, so put him behind the sticks here. And another 3rd down opportunity for Colonel Crawford. But this time, it was in the backfield pretty deep, so a spot foul and then, 10 yards from it?
Yeah, and there was instant pressure. And that's the worst thing. It's 10 yards from the foul, so this is going to put them back down to like 3rd and 20.
It'll be 3rd down from their own side of the field now at the 48. 3rd and 22, you say?
That was devastating. Yeah, that was like a 17-yard penalty.
So Lure in the gun again, and I would almost expect him to keep it again.
Yeah, that are going to throw it streak to Trevor Vogt.
They'll do the throwback. Open is Thomas.
Open
he makes a cut inside. Down inside and slips up just at the 30-yard line.
He's right on.
He did get the first down, but he slips up at the 30. What a play call there by Colonel Crawford on the throwback to Micah Thomas on the left side, and he picks up the first down.
Well, that's something they like doing. Usually it's more of a screen look, but this time it was just sprint to the right, throw back to the left, and there was no one out there, one guy, and Thomas made a miss, and he might have scored if he wouldn't have slipped and fell.
It'll be Kleiner this time, down the sideline, has a blocker in front, inside the 10, and into the end zone from 30 yards out. Matt Kleiner puts Colonel Crawford on top to start this game.
Wow, 2 big plays back to back. First a little throwback pass, and then they just ran the buck sweep out of their wing tee look, the favorite play out of the wing tee, and got great, 2 great blocks downfield. The one guard just kept going. They got 2 blocks, and just an outstanding play.
So Colonel Crawford set to attempt the extra point, brought to you by FC Bank, your friendly community bank. It is up and it is good. 7-0, Colonel Crawford. 8:05 to play first quarter. Stay tuned. Margaretta getting the ball when we come back here on WBCO and the OH Report.
Wow.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
play first quarter here in North Robinson. Colonel Crawford leading Margaretta after a 30-yard touchdown run by Matt Kleinert. The play call before that, though, sets up the touchdown on 3rd and 22, and they pick up all of 22 on the throwback to Micah Thomas. Margaretta fields it at the 10, and it is Jordan Lazater close to the 35. To the 35, I should say. Lost it to the 36. And Margaretta starts out in the same field position that Colonel Crawford did. And we'll see how this works out for Cameron Sosa and company. As you mentioned, the main wide receiver, Gage Bodie, out for tonight's game with that injury. And what kind of impact can he have, even though it's from the sideline?
Well, you know, it's just talking to the other wide receivers. He's a veteran wide receiver that has been around for a while and their main man, so he's got to talk to the other guys, making sure that they're staying focused and ready to make plays. But, you know, right now I would imagine we're going to get a steady diet for them of Jake Boggs and Sosa.
Sosa rolls out towards the left. He's looking to run it. The 25 hit hard out of bounds inside the 30. I should have mentioned that the drive started at the 26, not the 36.
He's ahead for a gain of 3 or 4.
But picks up a couple of yards there. And Sosa on the year threw for over 1,000 yards, but also ran for 333 as well.
And there you can see they might have to change their offensive philosophy a little bit. And Sosa now has to be the number 2 guy because Bodie's out.
Handed off, sweeping left side, and this time it is Boggs. Boggs tripped up over the 30-yard line to the 33, and they'll be about at a 3rd and a long 3 or 4.
Yeah, they just ran him off tackle. He's a big kid and put his foot in the ground, and up the field he went. So it'll be a 3rd and 3 and maybe 3.5. But this is where Margaretta would like to be on a regular basis, where it's 3rd and makeable.
Yeah,
they are going to throw it.
It'll be Sosa. There is a flag on the play. He'll get up to the 35 and gets out of a tackle across the 40 and then really hit hard out of bounds as he goes flying into that Crawford bench. And this one will be coming back. So both teams featured a hold on their first possession. Colonel Crawford eluded disaster on the throwback pass to Micah Thomas and picked up all 22 yards and exactly 22 yards.
And it is much like the first penalty in that it happened well behind the line of scrimmage. It's a spot foul. So it's more like a 15 or 16-yard penalty rather than just a 10-yard penalty.
And it's where it kills them with Gage Bodie being out. They don't have their main guy out there to kind of rely on.
Well, look for Margaretta to do something similar, you know, maybe a screen or some kind of throwback.
They're going to throw. Sosa
going up and
looking deep down the right side, and it's incomplete. Tight coverage by Lucas Foy, and it was intended for Judah Keller, a freshman. Kind of had to turn around and got maybe a little lights in his eyes, I guess you could say, but he had to really turn around and reach for that ball.
Well,
he ran kind of an over-the-shoulder catch.
He ran it out and up, and it was underthrown just a hair, but because it looked like he had a step or two for a minute. But good play by the DB catching up and distracting him enough so he couldn't make the catch. Bodie, by the way, is also the punter. And so that one, a line shot right to Trevor Vogt, only a few yards, but that's a dangerous thing to not get much hang time on punts to him.
Yeah, and that's happened very often so far this season, and he has the ability to take it to the house. Looks like another flag on the play. We'll see what the call is here. Maybe there's not.
No, I think it's just something on the field.
Yeah, it must be. Okay. That's not, I don't know what it is, but oh well. 6:48 to play here in the first quarter.
Great
Crawford,
field position for Crawford.
Great field position already with a 7-0 lead, and they'll have the ball on Margaretta's 40-yard line. They'll send 2 in motion. It's Thomas towards the left side. Kleiner goes to the right of Lure in the gun. They'll hand it to
Run that
Kleiner.
buck sweep again.
Kleiner on a sweep. cuts it back inside, and he drags defenders inside the 30-yard line. Does Kleinert. Finally taking him down was Hayden Wiley, but not before Kleinert picks up another Crawford first down.
Well, they came right back and ran the same play that they scored the touchdown, and I believe that pulling guard is Ketterman, who's doing such a great job coming around and leading Kleinert up into that hole. 12-yard gain.
Wing T here. They'll fake the handoff, looking across the middle, finds Vogt, leaps up, makes the catch. He'll go down the right side, across the middle of the field, inside the 10, inside the 5, and dragged down from behind is Trevor Vogt, but not before he gets Crawford into the red zone and a little bit closer. Inside the 5, they'll mark him down at the 3. So first and goal for Colonel Crawford.
Well, this time they faked the buck sweep. Looked like they might want to throw the ball to the left deep, but they had Trevor Vogt just cutting all the way across the field on a crossing route, and boy, he hit him right in stride so he could just sprint down up to the right sideline and down to the 3-yard line. Crawford back in business.
Wing T, Smith goes in motion towards the right side, and they will give it Thomas, it looks like.
They push him
his
in.
way. Did they get him in? They did. Micah Thomas from 3 yards out extends the lead.
There is no such thing as aiding the runner any longer. That was just a big scrum and everyone pushing him into the end zone. I know Coach Bruner was worried about the size of Margaretta, but right now their offensive line is getting a much better push than Margaretta's defensive line.
I'd say I don't think they have to worry about that. Braxton Morton to attempt the extra point, and he'll knock it through. Once again, Crawford on top. It is 14-0 with 5:42 left to play here in the opening quarter. Micah Thomas, a 3-yard touchdown run. Stay tuned. We'll be back here on WBCO and the OH Report.
I'm Travis Big League Berardi. Catch me every Roads rankings. We'll go over the small school top 10 football schools here in the area.
.542 left to play here, opening quarter, 14-0. Colonel Crawford on top. Remind you that our game is brought to you in part by Brad Walton at BF Walton and Seeds Company in Sycamore, and Eliza and Matt Cole at Your Great Escape across from McDonald's in Bucyrus. And fielding it and slipping up inside the 10-yard line is Judah Keller, the freshman. Fields it over the shoulder and then slides, and that's a couple times where one of the athletes has tripped up on the field by themselves, and this will also give us a chance that tonight's high school football broadcast is brought to you live and free on the OH Report thanks to our generous sponsors, Burkhart Farm Center, farmers helping farmers. Stop by their location in Bucyrus, Baker's Pizza. We are proud of our service to the community and even more proud to be the place to go after every local game or to watch your favorite team in action. Come join us today for a great meal and a great time with friends and family. Lacey Construction, First Federal Community Bank, and North Central State College. And on the carry this time up to the 10 is Lazader here for Margaretta.
Well, I think it's already a very, very important series right here for Margaretta.
I was going to say, I think it's prevalent. I think they got a score.
I mean,
already you're down
right now you can't ask for a better start for the Colonel Crawford Eagles than what they've gotten so far.
It'll be 2nd and 6 from the 10 here for the Polar Bears. Give themselves a little bit of breathing room here on this second drive of the game. I guess the one important thing is that they have the ball to start the second half, but if you keep giving up scores, it's not going to matter. And on the carry is Sosa has enough to the 12 to pick up the, or to the 17, excuse me. I have enough to pick up the first down. It's going to be close.
Looks like a flag on the play.
There is a flag.
I thought I saw one fly, but then I thought it was maybe a football on the sideline being thrown over there.
Still
they're
debating.
deciding about the measurement.
There is no flag. Second time we've seen a flag, and at least we could see the numbers tonight.
Yeah,
that's
very
a
clear.
Good thing. Yeah. So here's the measurement. I can see this. And it looks like he's got it, and they do. Thanks to the OH report for that tight camera coverage there on the first down. So just enough to pick up the first down, and that would be Margaretta's first down. And a big one to get out of the shadows of the goalpost.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, now they just got to keep it going. Like you said, I think this is a key series. They really could use a score here because right now they're slowing Crawford down at all.
Boggs with a little burst on the outside. And that was a quick 4 yards there for Boggs as he really sped around the edge.
He's brought down by Matt Kleinert.
Brought down on the play by Kleinert, but he still at least gains those 4 yards.
Yeah, he's a big kid at 6'1", 220 pounds, but also looked like he had pretty good speed there as they ran a little sweep to the left and able to get us 4 yards in good shape on second down.
They're going to throw this time, and it's almost intercepted. He threw a slant route across the middle to Hayden Wiley.
Sosa's pass broken up.
And stepping in front was Trevor Vogt, and he could have ran easily into the end zone if he completes the catch and
he could have
intercepts that pass.
He could have ran to Gallion on that bad boy. He had a lot of room. I think he got distracted by his own guy. I mean, it was much closer to two Colonel Crawford players than it was to either one of the Margaretta guys. So I don't know if someone ran a wrong pattern or what it was, but not a good-looking play at all.
3rd and 6. Sosa rolls out towards the right, throws it in the flat, incomplete, intended for Wiley once again, but it's through his hands into the grass.
There you go, really missing Bodie right there. 2 straight passes, and so he's now Sosa now 0 for 3 in a passing game.
I mean, Tim, we're still up 3:57 left here in the first quarter, and this already has the makings, if Crawford scores here, of a blowout.
Well, the big problem is this guy's not a very good punter.
They'll punt it right side. Vogt's going to pick it up at the 46, and he'll get a few extra yards and is dragged down across midfield at the 49. Or right at midfield is where they're going to mark it.
But, yeah, great field position again. And, you know, they just can't afford, I don't care how good this Margaretta defense is supposed to be. You can't keep giving Colonel Crawford a short field.
Yeah, right at midfield with 3:46 left here in the first quarter. Colonel Crawford leading 14-0. Matt Kleinert a 30-yard run. Micah Thomas a 3-yard carry. Those are the 2 back-to-back possessions. Kleinert bullies his way across midfield to the 47. Pickup of 2.5 yards. He's taken down on the play by J.T. Patrick along with Wiley. And they'll give him 2 on the carry for a 2nd down and 8. Crawford with 2 wide receivers. Vogt wide to the left. Kleinert to the right of Cam Lure in the shotgun. Lure fakes the handoff to Kleinert. Rush coming up the middle. He rolls towards the right, throws it out, and it is caught by Tristan Baker, the tight end. And they'll pick up another 2 yards here to make it 3rd and 6 to the 46. So if Margaretta And this is, another prevalent drive for them, but this time on the defensive side. They'll bring in Micah Thomas as the up back. Kleinert to the left of Cameron Lohr. Trevor Vogt, the lone wide receiver, he's wide to the left. Micah Thomas and motion. Kleinert follows suit, goes to the right of Lohr. They'll fake the handoff to Kleinert. Lohr looking, and he's grabbed, and he is taken down at the 45 and sacked. Huge play by the Polar Bears getting in there defensively.
Well, he just held the ball way too long. I didn't, and instead of holding it, trying to make that big play.
Hayden Wiley, along with Seth Stanley in there defensively to get the sack on Cam Lohr, and it's 4th and 15. And they will punt. Kleinert to punt, standing at his 32-yard line. Fields it cleanly, gets it away. Great punt here. Fair catch made for at the 16 by Judah Keller.
Kleinert's punt travels to the...
Well, that series, it was interesting that...
or is it, that's actually Lazader on the fair catch.
The Margaretta defense came out and got into a 53 defense where they had 5 down linemen and 3 linebackers, 2 corners, and a safety. And early in the game, they were playing with a 4-man line, playing a 4-3 with 2 safeties and 2 corners. So they've decided that they're going to try to bring more people into the box to try to stop Crawford's running game.
First and 10 from their own 19. Sosa hands it Boggs, sweeping left side across the 20, and a gain of tacklers in there for Colonel Crawford. He may have fallen forward. Picks up a couple of yards on the play, 3 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 7 now here for Margaretta. Trailing 14-0 with 2:03 left here in the opening quarter. And once again, it's another drive here for Margaretta where they got to at least extend the drive and pick up a couple first downs.
Yeah, they need to flip the field position a little bit. If they can't score here, at least get it to where Crawford's going to have a long field. And, they started flipping it a little bit with that sack. They need to now make some plays on offense.
2nd and 7. They'll do the throwback this time as well, and Hitton's dropped.
Is that Gabe Thune?
And did the ball come loose? It might be incomplete instead.
Screen pass complete to Boggs.
It'll be Boggs. And I think they're just going to say incomplete, or no, they'll mark it at the 20.
I think that was Gabe Thune that made the play. He snuffed that thing out in a hurry. Or maybe it was 62. But the linebackers for this Colonel Crawford defense have been outstanding all year.
3rd and 9 from the back. Pressure coming. Throws it. Slings it out. Catch made across the 40. Inside, Colonel Crawford tear across their 40-yard line. And making the catch is Hayden Wiley. We've called his name numerous times tonight. And this time he comes up with a huge 3rd down catch for the Polar Bears.
Why makes a couple guys miss. He ran right between those 2 guys. And luckily for Crawford, they were able to chase him down before he scored, but a big 42-yard gain.
1st and 10 from the Crawford 38-yard line. 25 seconds left here in the quarter with Margaretta the ball, trailing by 4.
Snap.
Sosa.
Short gain on the play.
Maybe, but
Several Eagles in on the tackle.
really a broken play.
Yeah, it was really missed time. Motion guy got kind of in the way, and then he collided with the running back and ended up trying to keep the ball. It looks like that's the end of the quarter.
So at the end of quarter number 1, it's Colonel Crawford 14, Margaretta nothing. Margaretta with the ball, 2nd and 9 from the Crawford 37. When we come back, stay tuned here on the Lewis Family McDonald's. Will be second.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Back here on WBCO along with the OH report, 14-0. Colonel Crawford on top. Margaretta a 2nd and 9. Sosa feeds it inside to Boggs. And Boggs kind of trips and stumbles his way to the 36. He'll pick up a yard and bring up a 3rd and 8 situation. I would assume this is 4-down territory, obviously, now that you're on Crawford's side of the field.
Isaiah Studer in on the tackle.
Isaiah Studer in there to make the tackle. So what are you expecting here on 3rd down?
Well, you know, I think they're going to probably throw the ball. They've seemed happy to be able to put it up. They just haven't had much success, just the one completion.
They'll run it wide. This time it's Kane Smetzer. Smetzer gets the 1st down and more across the 25 and taken down at the 20 is Smetzer. So they run the sweep and give Crawford a little dose of their own medicine.
Yes, Smetzer looked like he had pretty good speed there. Just ran a sweep with the wing back and put him in motion. He was able to get the ball kind of like a jet look, and he was off to the races, got up that right sideline for another 1st down for Margaretta.
Showing signs of life. Sosa in the gun. Little pistol formation. Smetzer again on the carry. Cuts it back inside the 20. And he'll be stopped at the 16-yard line as Smetzer. A pickup of 4 on the ground for Smetzer before he's met by a host of Crawford Eagles. And the first one in there for Colonel Crawford was Ryan McMichael. 2nd and 6 here for Margaretta.
Looks like Coach Quizno has finally found something that's working a little bit. He's getting into that split back look in the gun with 2 backs and having Boggs lead the way for Smetzer, and he's gained 20 yards on the last 2 carries.
2nd and 6 from the 16. They'll feed Boggs this time on the inside handoff, and Boggs pushes his way forward to the 12. Another pickup of 4 yards for Margaretta, but they're steadily picking up 3 or 4 yards here on this drive.
Well, and this is really great for their confidence. You know, if they're able to punch this thing in, it changes the whole complexion of the game. You know, at one point we're looking at, you know, a possible blowout. Now all of a sudden it's going to be, oh, no, it's not. We're right back in, you know, that Margaretta gets right back in the game with a touchdown here.
3rd and 2, 9:30 to play here. 1st half. Margaretta trailing by 14. Boggs to the right of Sosa in the gun. And it's actually Judah Keller on the carry. And Judah Keller into the end zone. There is a flag that comes in late.
May have been after the score.
We'll see what the call is. Right now it's a 14-6 game. There was some type of block at the goal line.
Exactly, and you know, like I said, I couldn't tell if it was
maybe a blind side.
Yeah, but did it happen after he was in the end zone or before or after?
Touchdown is good.
There's a personal foul against Margaretta, but
they will enforce that on the kickoff.
Crawford will take it on the kickoff.
That means Crawford's going to get great field position because they haven't kicked the ball very far.
At this point, just try to get it to the 35, right, and kick it out of bounds.
So that was Keller again?
Yeah, Judah Keller. And they do indeed punch it in. And they're right back in this game. What was that, 12 yards out?
Yeah, 12-yard run.
And the PAT is good. And from the celebration, Jake Bowie connects. And
I'm taking that was the freshman's first made extra point.
Yeah, the way they celebrated there, it looked like it was indeed.
It was quite a celebration for an extra point.
9:23 left to play first half. Margaretta on the board. It's 14-7, Colonel Crawford. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with a kick return touchdown.
Back here on WBCO along with the OH report. 9:23 to play in the first half. Margaretta set to kick off. And it'll be Austin Dillery, the senior, set to kick from their own 25 after the personal foul penalty.
Yeah, they're standing on a 36-yard line, so with any kind of return, they're going to have great field position.
And he boots it, and it is fielded by Vogt at the 38. Vogt working his way up the middle, finds a seam. Vogt with a stiff arm down the sideline, across the 30-yard line, another stiff arm, and finally shoved out of bounds. Around the 20-yard line is Trevor Vogt. And like I mentioned, I think at that point you just got to kick it out of bounds.
Well, there's one of those plays we were just talking about in pregame that, you know, is Vogt going to be able to make a difference and make a play in the return game? And there's the first one. So Crawford in business, first and 10, and they are in the red zone already.
Yep, right at the 20, 1st and 10. Crawford leading 14-7, 9:12 to play here first half. And Lore's going to go under center with Thomas and Kleinard in the wing T set. Thomas on the carry, right tackle, spun down at the 16 is Micah Thomas. And in there on the tackle was Kellen Moore. So a 2nd and 6 here from the 16 here for the Eagles. And that last drive, Margaretta with a great job defensively. They were aided by the sack on 3rd down.
Well, yeah, it showed a lot of life. They got the sack, got the ball back, and very good drive right down the field and right back in the game. But then
now Kleinard trying to bounce it outside, trying to sneak it back inside, and he'll be stopped for a loss. A loss of 1 on the play for Matt Kleinard, back to the 17, and it will be now a 3rd and 7 for Colonel Crawford.
I'd really like to see Crawford here. If they're going to throw it, maybe roll Lower out and let him be able to make a decision whether he wants to keep it and whether he wants to throw it.
So 3rd and 7 from the 17. Trevor Vogt wide to the left, the tight end, Ryan McMichael along the right side. Vogt goes in motion, and there will be a timeout. We'll take one as well. 7:50 to play first half. Crawford.
I'm Travis Big League Berardi. Catch me every week with my Country Roads rankings. We'll go over the small school top 10 football schools here in the area.
Vote in motion here from left to right. And if that happened, I would expect that Lore's going to roll out to the right and try to get him the ball out in the flat.
They'll send him in motion once again towards the right side. They'll fake the handoff, looking that way, lobs it, caught at the 10, and we'll see where the spot is. He kind of reached forward, and did he pick up the first down? He did.
Giving it to him.
Got the first down just enough. for the first down. And now it's a 1st and goal just inside the 10 at the 9. Critical 3rd down pickup there for Colonel Crawford.
Yeah, he just executed very well. Rolled out, ran a little flood action, and got the ball to the open guy.
Wing T, it's Thomas on the inside carry. Thomas stumbles his way to the 7-yard line. Pick up of a couple yards there for Micah Thomas. And it'll be 2nd and goal.
Important for Crawford to cash in on this drive.
Yeah, are leading 14-7. Had the great kickoff return by Trevor Vogt to set him up in business. And now a 2nd and goal. Lure under center. Wing T formation once again. They'll fake the handoff, looking for the throw in the back of the end zone, incomplete through the hands of a leaping Tristan Baker. He was open though.
Yeah, he threw it a little late. Threw it late, threw it high. First incompletion though that they've had. But yeah, Baker was wide open for a while.
Now a 3rd and goal. They'll bring in Jacob. Now to the left of Cam Lure. Baker the tight end. Cam Lure rolls towards the left. Looks like he's going to run. Bounces it outside. Slips through a couple tackles. Still spinning his way. And it'll be 4th and goal from, and I'm saying maybe 3 inches away from the goal line.
With the touchdown saving tackle.
They're going to bring in Thomas along with Matt Kleinert.
The last time down here, they just gave the ball to Thomas and everyone pushed him into the end zone. So I would probably run a quarterback sneak and push him in the end zone.
Thomas, the carry. And there is a timeout. He wasn't going to get it, but they call the timeout. Does Colonel Crawford right before the snap. And yeah, I don't think he was going to get in on that play. And so it's 6:01 left here in the first half. It's 14-7 Crawford, a 4th and inches. Do you think they kind of stick with that same play?
I wouldn't hand it off. I'd run a quarterback sneak and push him. Push him in. It's legal now.
So just about ready for this 4th down. Coach Bruner and company.
But it looks to me, you know, that I believe the nose tackle for Margaretta goes about 3 bills.
.601 left in the half. 14-7 Crawford on top, facing a 4th and goal inside the 1-yard line. Lure under center. Once again with Kleinert and Thomas. They'll send Smith towards the right side of the line.
A little wider than I anticipated him doing, but good move. They really had things stacked up inside, and there was a little seam there, and Micah got into it, scored. Big touchdown for Colonel Crawford.
Braxton Morton, the FC Bank extra points. Your friendly community bank is true, and it's Crawford 21. 5:56 left to play here in the half. Micah Thomas, a 1-yard touchdown run. We'll be right back here on WBCO and the OH Report.
On the burners, Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
To 7, Colonel Crawford leading by 14 after the 1-yard touchdown run by Micah Thomas. Margaretta fields it at the 10. It's Judah Keller. Keller with a seam. Keller with a burst. Keller across midfield. One man to beat, and he will beat him. Down the sideline. Margaretta right back. Judah Keller, 90 yards to the house.
He's only a freshman.
His second touchdown of the game. First one from 12 yards out, this time a 90-yard touchdown kickoff return. We talked about special teams with Trevor Vogt. This time, Margaretta and the freshman, Judah Keller, stepping up.
Well, yeah, you know, someone who you didn't expect to do that. I mean, Bodie is their main man returning kicks, and Judah Keller, I wonder if his dad is Steve Keller, his principal, or the assistant principal at the school, who's also the basketball coach and a friend of mine.
Maybe you should ask him.
I'll have to figure that out.
You know everybody.
Well, actually, I know his grandpa better than I know his dad.
Yeah. I guess that's what coaching will do, right?
You know, his dad I know from coaching because he used to be the head basketball coach at Sandusky, and before he went over to Margaretta.
So attempt the extra point is Jake Bowie once again. There is a flag. This time it's a real flag.
Yes.
And it'll be against the Polar Bears. Oh, my. The official really with an extensive call there. Really got into that one.
That was some serious illegal motion.
Man, he raised his arms about 5 feet in the air and made the call.
There was no doubt that it was an illegal motion.
He might get our player of the game.
Maybe.
Here's the extra point brought to you by FC
Nice
Bank,
snap.
your friendly community
Looks like
bank.
he made it.
Bowie connects once again, knocks it in. He's 2 for 2. And it's 21-14. Margaretta and Judah Keller, a 90-yard touchdown run, puts him right back in it. It's 21-14. Colonel Crawford, 5:41 left here in the first half. You're listening to high school football here on WBCO, along with watching on the OH Report.
I'm Travis Big League Berardi. Catch me every week with my Country Roads rankings. We'll go over the small school top 10 football schools here in the area.
(21-14). Colonel Crawford leading Margaretta. And it'll be kicking off. It'll be Austin Dillery once again, this time without the penalty. So they'll kick it off from the 40-yard line.
Well, we've had 2 big kickoff returns in a row. Let's see if we can get a third. They're trying to stack these guys so they can't figure out which way to kick it.
I'd kick it out of bounds.
Well, they kicked it right as far to the side as they could.
And a huge hit on special teams. Logan Goddard in there on the return, but he really got hit hard.
Well, when it's that far to the side, you really don't have anyone in front of you. As we're looking at the replay over on the OH.REPORT, and yeah, he just had no one really in front of him, and he caught the ball, took a couple steps, and got whammied.
So ball still pretty good field position here for Colonel Crawford with the ball at their own 40-yard line. 5:37 left to play first half. 1st and 10 here for the Eagles. They'll change the call. Laura goes under center. They'll send Vogt in motion. They'll toss it. Sweeping right side. Trevor Vogt trying to bounce it outside. And a shoestring tackle made by Jordan Lazader at the 44-yard line. Pick up a 4 there for Trevor Vogt.
Yeah, it looked like he had a little more room, but Lazader did a good job of staying in his pursuit lane and made the tackle for a 4-yard gain.
Lohr again, they'll go under center. Thomas behind him. This time they'll hand it Thomas off left tackle. Thomas powers his way to midfield. And Thomas with a first down here for Colonel Crawford. Thomas has really come on strong here tonight. Matt Kleinert was really the featured tailback, but Thomas has really gotten the majority of the work.
He's got
here.
6 carries for 21 yards now and a couple short touchdown runs. A lot of shifting by Colonel Crawford tonight, more than we've seen all year.
To do that. Thomas, again, the tailback, and a penalty flag flies. It'll go against Colonel Crawford. It'll be a false start.
We'll bring up 1st and 15.
Not the way they want things to go when they're starting to move the ball again. You know, they would like to be able to just keep it on the ground. And the 1st and 15 now gets you behind the sticks a little bit. And they'll probably run it here, but they may have to come up with a throw here soon. Yep, it's going to be now.
Throw. Slings it wide to Maddie. Incomplete.
And a
flag comes in. It will be pass interference against Margaretta.
Yeah, he didn't get turned around, or the defense back didn't get turned around, didn't do anything. He just kept his forearm on the chest of number 11 of Jacob Maddie and just pushed to Maddie, a 6'4" receiver. And I thought he was going to be able to make the play, but the interference is probably a good penalty, to be quite honest.
He really just had to turn around for the football, though, because it was
protesting,
slightly underthrown.
He protested a little bit, but it was probably good because I think if he didn't interfere, it was probably going to be a touchdown.
That would be a 15-yard penalty
against Aiden Miller.
Good enough for a first down.
9th first down for Colonel Crawford already in this half.
Ball to the 39-yard line of Margaretta. 1st and 10. 4 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. Lohr, empty backfield. In the gun. 2 wide to the right, 1 wide to the left. Lohr looking right side, guns it along the sideline. It's caught by Maddie, and then he'll sidestep bounce at the 33-yard line. A gain of 5 to bring up 2nd and 5.
Pushed out of bounds there by Smetzer.
So clock continues to run close to 4 minutes at 4:15. 2nd down and 4. Lohr, once again, an empty set. Vogt and Maddie towards the right. Vogt goes in motion. They'll fake the handoff inside to him, and tripped up by Hayden Wiley is Cam Lohr on the keeper. And we have once again mentioned Hayden Wiley. He's been featured a lot here tonight.
Well, they made a they sent Vogt in motion. They faked the ball to him. We're going to run that little counter play with Lohr again, but they didn't fool anybody and stuffed for maybe a yard gain, maybe no gain.
Again, empty backfield. Lohr with pressure towards his left. Throws it. It's tipped up in the air, incomplete through the hands
Pass intended on the far side for Lucas Foy.
of Lucas Foy. He would have had the first down had he caught it, but it's right through his hands to bring up 4th down and 5.
Threw it a little high, and has a long throw to make on the outcut to the left side there, and he just Foy couldn't come down with it. Looks like the Eagles are going to go for it, though.
3:39 left in the half. 21-14, Colonel
Look for
Crawford.
possibly a long count, see if they can get him to jump.
Vogt in motion towards the left side. Lohr rolls towards the right, wide open, making a catch. Did he step out of bounds? Kleinert hit hard from behind.
No, he didn't, and he got the
first down to the 25. Did Kleinert, and a Margaretta defender came flying in from the back and hit him hard. It was a defensive lineman, Seth Stanley, the one to come in and
really good
knock
job
him down.
of handling the ball by by Lohr. boot action and wide open in the flat.
Kleinert on the carry, charges ahead, spun down right at the line of scrimmage at the 25-yard line.
Kleinert on the carry.
2nd and 10. That Margaretta defense has really started to buckle up. Even on that touchdown drive on the last possession for Crawford, they had the ball at the 20, had a couple a third down conversion, and then a 4th down conversion.
Yeah, they're back in their 4-man front and now they're in kind of a 4-4 look.
Kleinert to the right of Lohr in the shotgun. They'll feed it to Kleinert again. Left tackle. Flag comes in.
I think we're going to get another hold.
Dragged down by Kane Smetzer. And we'll see what the flag is here as Lohr was knocked back.
Smetzer on the stop. We'll sort out the flag here.
Longer conversation. I thought it was going to have to be.
And we'll see. Right now they're standing at the 25 to make the call. And it will be against Crawford and a chop block against the Eagles. So
against Colonel Crawford.
That's a 15-yarder, isn't it?
Yeah, they're still walking.
A 15-yard penalty is assessed for that foul.
That's a huge penalty.
Yeah, that really puts a big hit on your drive.
To the 40. 2nd down and 25. They have to get to the 15-yard line. And remember, the last time they were in this position on a 3rd and 22, they got just enough for the 1st down. And Margaretta.
We're going to talk it over again.
Official timeout.
That Margaretta has all 3 timeouts. Crawford with only 1. So 2:35 left here in the half. 2nd and 25 for Colonel Crawford.
And look for maybe some type of screen here.
Lohr in the gun, Vogt going in motion from right to left. He'll split out wide to the left to bring trips to that side. Lohr rolls that way. Another throwback, and once again wide open. Down the sideline, and inside the 15-yard line is Caden Bruner. Are you kidding me? A 3rd and 22, now a 2nd and 25, and they pick up both on the same play. To the 13-yard line in the red zone, 1st and 10. Colonel Crawford. Vogt will come out of the game for a minute. They'll set up the wing T. Smith in motion towards the right side. Kleinert and Thomas, the featured backs. It's Thomas cutting it inside the 5, and dragged down at the 2-yard line by Jordan Lazader. But under 2 minutes to play now, and Colonel Crawford a 1st and goal.
1st and goal for the Eagles.
21-14, Colonel Crawford on top. Looking to punch this one in before halftime.
I'm still kind of amazed about the 1st down pickup on the throwback screen again.
I think anybody could see it coming. Thomas again, cutting it back. Thomas pushing his way, bowling his way into the end zone. Micah Thomas, touchdown, number 3.
Good drive by the Eagles, and a nice touchdown by Thomas to get in, but good leg drive. That was a weight room touchdown. They pushed him in.
1:26 to play. That was a 60-yard drive by Colonel Crawford. Braxton Morton in to kick the extra point. And Braxton Morton connects. 28-14 after the Micah Thomas 2-yard touchdown run. Colonel Crawford extends the lead again. 1:26 to play here, 1st half. We'll be back.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
1:26 to play here first half. Colonel Crawford 28, Margaretta 14. Micah Thomas a 2-yard touchdown run, and you mentioned it off there. We'll see what Colonel Crawford decides to do. Are they going to kick it deep? Judah Keller on the last time this happened, it was a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He's standing at the 10, along with Jordan Lazader. 28-14, Colonel Crawford. And they'll kind of squib it. Judah Keller lets it slip through his. Lazader picks it up at the 15. Working his way left side. There's
a block in the back, and now he's laying on him and
flags
pushing him and shoving him. He called for a penalty.
Handled the kickoff. He's ahead to the 22.
Hayden Wiley comes in and says, "What are you doing?"
You know, he blocked him in the back and then laid on top of him, pushed and shoved him while he's laying on the ground. And then he tried to pick him up after he was done, and it was like, you see those yellow flags surrounding you? They're on you.
So Margaretta with 3 timeouts, trailing by 14 with 1:17, and now they're going to have the ball pinned deep inside their own territory.
Yeah, they're going to take that one. That's going to take them back near the 10-yard line.
Holding is the call.
They'll be holding against Margaretta.
That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of that.
So they'll place the ball, looks like at the 12.
10 Margaretta from their own 11-yard line.
Kind of changes maybe what you're going to do for Margaretta. It'll be interesting to see what they do here first down. If they're going to put it up or they're going to try to keep something on the ground and stay a little safe.
They do get the ball to start the second half. Like I mentioned, all 3 timeouts remaining, so still time here if they do decide to try something. But do you risk it?
Well, if you remember, a couple series ago, he threw one out in a flat right to Trevor Vogt, who had a touchdown if he caught it.
Boggs on the carry. Boggs.
Jake Boggs.
To the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. So 2nd and 10, and it looks like they will almost be content just running this clock out.
Yeah, it looks like it. They're not in a hurry at all. They're not calling timeout, and they're not in a big hurry to get out of the huddle right now.
Unless they kind of really burst one through the gun, they'll hand it off to Smetzer. Smetzer with a 8-yard gain before he's tripped up out of bounds. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2, but he steps out of bounds. And now if you don't get this 3rd down conversion, Colonel Crawford could think about taking a timeout because he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah. And I'd definitely do it because Margaretta punter has not been really good, and Trevor Vogt is very good in the return game.
And the shotgun, there was early movement there. Flag comes in.
It's blown dead.
Looked like Judah Keller was actually in on the Wildcat. Yes, he was.
This really changes things now.
Bringing it at a 3rd and 6.
5-yard penalty.
And
still 3rd down.
Jake Bruner, Coach Bruner's telling him put some more. He's telling him put some more stuff on the clock.
There is 40 seconds on the clock.
And that's what there was before they snapped it the last time. So I think we are correct.
3rd and 6, and now they bring Sosa back in at quarterback instead of sticking with that Wildcat.
Well, the worst thing is if they throw a pass that's incomplete, the clock stops again. And Crawford can keep that timeout in their pocket.
Yeah, Keller's actually in there again. He tries to slip along the right side. He's got that speed, and he's tackled short of the 1st down. They'll mark him down at the 20. It'll bring up 4th down and timeout Colonel Crawford, just as expected.
Brings up 4th down.
So we'll take one as well. 33 seconds left in the half. 4th down coming up for Margaretta. We'll be back.
Tackle there by Jake Mack.
What's up, America? Brian Skoronski here. And if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report.
also back here on the OH Report. 28-14. Colonel Crawford leading this game with 33 seconds. Margaretta with a 4th and 1 from their own 20. And Tim and I, a little disagreement. I think they go for it.
That's a long one, too.
I think they go for it. I think they go for it.
Oh, my gosh.
They are going for it.
Well, first of all, they've screwed up already.
They go under center.
They're going to try to get him to jump.
2 wide receivers towards the left. There is 12 seconds on the play clock, and Crawford will not jump. So another timeout taken, this time by Margaretta. And, I mean, I guess a smart call there to try to get Crawford to jump, see if he can pick up the first down. But now they will more than likely bring out the punt team. I still would have gone for it.
That's why you're up here.
You don't like my coaching experience, Tim?
I was a bit of a gambler. I'm not that much of a gambler.
We'll see what Trevor Vogt and company
but
do.
You're right. I mean, I can see your thought process because the punter is not real strong, and obviously Crawford's got a good return game here. So
they don't even have Trevor Vogt back there. They
He's
have
not
Lucas
back
Foy and Ethan Holt.
Lucas Foy.
Where is he?
And Ethan Holt back for the Eagles.
Oh.
I don't even see him. Did he? And they punt it away. They'll punt it to Foy. Foy picks it up, turns around, spins to the 40.
You're not that fast,
Foy,
brother. Maybe he is.
Back across the 45,
Maybe
across the 50. Lucas Foy cuts it back inside the 20, inside the 15. I told you they should have gone for it. I told you, Tim Birie. And Colonel Crawford in business at the 15.
Yeah. Even a blind squirrel finds an
That's why
acorn.
you're up here, Tim.
Well, that's true.
13 seconds left in the half. Colonel Crawford trying for one more score.
Well, it'd be about a 33 or 34-yard field goal, which I think he's got enough leg to get it, so they can throw the ball in the end zone one time.
Trevor Vogt heading to the locker room, by the way, with his pads off.
He'll be all right.
Lohr fakes the handoff, looking, throws it along the flat. It's caught and slipping up with 6 seconds. Did he get out of bounds? It was Ryan
I don't
McMichael.
think he did. It's still
the clock
running.
continues to run. 2 seconds, 1 second, and they will not get it off in
No,
time, and that will end the half. McMichael slips up. He couldn't get out of bounds in time, and they fall short of a touchdown, but Colonel Crawford still leading. Micah Thomas, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Crawford putting on a clinic offensively. They lead it 28-14. Switch over here on WBCO or stay along with OH Report for the halftime show of the Margaretta and Colonel Crawford bands. Stay with us on WBCO if you want to listen to the Ohio News Network halftime show. 28-14, your score at the half here of playoff week number 1. Crawford with the lead here on WBCO along with the OH Report.
What's up, America? Brian Skoronsky here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively, right here on the OH Report.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
Going to cheerleading camp next to the abandoned insane asylum. It's like throwing your blood away.
50% of Americans like watching blood get spilled in horror movies, but only 3% donate it.
Now that's scary.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more. Every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Happy Halloween!
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
The band's final selection tonight is a 1986 hit song by Metallica. Recently featured in season 4 of the Netflix show Stranger Things, the band closes tonight's senior show with Master of Puppets. to you for your support of music education this evening. Margaretta fans, check the school website and Facebook page for all of our upcoming performance dates throughout the year. Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Mr. Justin Cooper, with assistants Randy Cordial and Jerry McCoy, Colonel Crawford High School proudly presents your 2022 Eagle Marching Band. This first song is a throwback to band camp way back in the summer. But as Smash Mouth says, it's just like any fad, it retracts before impact. So we gotta bring it back now, or we might as well be walking on the sun. Changed since band camp though. For one, it's gotten colder. So we think it might be the perfect time to head down south with Green Day for some warm weather on a nice holiday.
That's a good one, yeah. Colonel Crawford is scoring the first two possessions, give up a touchdown to make it 14-7. Margaretta
be cold, but that won't bring us down. Like Pharrell Williams said, we'll all be just fine. So warm up along with us and clap, because we're happy.
For Margaretta defensive guy. Colonel Crawford, for example, is 8 for 10 throwing the ball for 106 yards. Defense. I mean, Crawford has really controlled it because they've had the ball a lot. So Colonel Crawford has 11 first downs to Margaretta's 5. They've ran the ball 22 times for 98 yards. So they're averaging over 4 yards a carry. Doing a good job there. As I said, 8 for 10 throwing the ball, 106 yards. No turnovers and 3 penalties for 30 yards. Margaretta, as I said, has got the 5 first downs, but they've only rushed the ball 15 times for 77 yards and threw it 5 times, 2 for 5 for 40. And but they got 6 penalties, so they really had the penalty bug in the first half. Penalized 6 times for 60. That big one being the personal foul. What do you call it? A personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct, whatever it was on the touchdown.
Yeah,
and you know, so they had to kick off from the 25-yard line. Their kicker is out, so they didn't kick the ball very far. And Vogt returns it down the 20-yard line. So Crawford only has a 20-yard touchdowns. Of course, it also was set back by that penalty, and so they had to get the score with the after the screen pass. And then, as you said, you know, for Margaretta, they really haven't done much of anything on offense. You know, they have a little over 100 yards, and but the big play has been the freshman Keller, Judah Keller, having a 90-yard kickoff return. And then he also scored their other touchdown when he goes in to play quarterback. So in a way, it's not Wildcat, I guess, because he is listed as a quarterback on their roster. But he is the guy that's going to go in and run the ball. Sosa's just going to run the offense.
If Trevor Vogt does not come back into this game, what do you think is the role here for Colonel Crawford going forward?
Well, fortunately for them, they still have other guys who are pretty good receivers. So, you know, certainly they'll miss him. But as we also saw, we thought they'd miss him, and then the next thing you know, Lucas Foy runs the kickoff back right before half, runs the kickoff back about 45 or 50 yards, or a punt rather. And so they look all right there. But, you know, they got other receivers. They got Maddie, and they, you know, Bruner was able to do something on the screen pass. And Foy's a threat. Kleiner's a good receiver out of the backfield. So they got some other guys. They're just going to have a lot of times you talk about that when someone gets injured, that not one guy can replace him. It's going to have to be 4 or 5, and I think in Crawford's case that's definitely the way it's going to have to be.
Now, okay, we obviously know the kicking game, the punting game, complete special teams, pretty much meltdown, and even by both teams there with Crawford giving up the 90-yard kickoff return. What can Margaretta do on their kickoffs, on their punts, to kind of take that effectiveness away from Crawford?
Well, unfortunately, they can't do a lot of anything because they don't have anyone to kick it.
And by the way, Trevor Vogt's warming up on the sideline, so a good sight to see.
Yeah. And so they got, you know, their extra point guy is not the same guy who kicks off. So apparently he can't, you know, kick the ball very, very deep. And then their punter is, he just, you know, there's a reason he's the backup punter, you can see, because he doesn't kick it very far and he doesn't kick it very high. And so there's not much they can do other than tell him to, you know, kick it diagonally away from everybody and see if he can kick it out of bounds. And just like they did on the last kickoff, they tried to kick the ball to the side on that last kickoff and then covered it. And so, but they still got it, you know, Crawford still got it back to the 40-yard line. So, you know, their defense is just going to have to understand that they're going to have to bow their backs, and because Crawford's going to have short fields for the rest of the game, probably.
Speaking of volleyball, here's your
So stay tuned. We'll have second half action coming up here on WBCO along with the OH report. Colonel Crawford leading 28-14. We'll come back with the second half kickoff right here on WBCO and the OH report.
I'm Travis Big League Berardi. Catch me every week with my Country Roads rankings. We'll go over the small school top 10 football schools here in the area.
WBCO and back here on the OH report as well. Jared Moore and Tim Birie, Colonel Crawford and Margaretta here getting ready to start the second half. Colonel Crawford with a 28-14 lead, and Margaretta is going to have the ball to start this second half. And what do you expect offensively from them? They kind of mixed in a little bit of Wildcat offense with Judah Keller there. Sosa really wasn't featured as much. Boggs wasn't really featured. That Colonel Crawford defense kind of held Boggs up a little bit.
Well,
but Judah Keller is kind of the key here in the second half.
Yeah, they didn't have the ball a whole lot. It was part of the problem. Keller ran the ball 2 times for 13 yards. Ran the one down on the goal line, came in, later ran another one on the goal. Well, I think it was on a 3rd down play, and he got the first down. But, Boggs only ran the ball 6 times for 14 yards. They didn't have the ball much. And, really they threw 5 passes. They completed 2 of them, but they really only completed the 1 pass down the field to Wiley. He caught the 1 crossing ball and split the 2 receivers, gained 42 yards. Their other one, they lost 2 yards when they threw it. So, I don't know what they're going to do to try to find some offense, but, they can't count on returning kickoffs, because the problem with returning kickoffs, you're just trading scores unless someone's kicking field goal and you're scoring touchdowns. So, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with and what adjustments they're going to make both offensively and defensively. Defensively, they did change up some. I don't know if that's something they usually do, going from 5 down linemen to 4 down linemen. It's hard to tell because I didn't catch a number a couple times, but I know for sure a couple series they were in a 5-man line. Other times it looked like they were just in a 4-man line. They'd walk a linebacker up on the line of scrimmage. But Crawford's had some success moving the ball on the ground, and really if they can do that this half and control the clock, they're going to advance to the next round.
630-688. Please come to the press box.
So Jordan Lazader along with Judah Keller back deep to receive this second half kickoff. Colonel Crawford leading 28-14. They will kick from the north side of the field towards the south side, left to right.
Lazader and Keller back deep for Margaretta.
Crawford with that 14-point advantage. Braxton Morton kicks it off, and the second half is underway. It'll be Lazader fielding it at the 12. Lazader going nowhere.
Lazader on the return. He's ahead for a gain of 2 or so.
Lucas Foy.
Foy showing really good speed again.
Yeah, showed it on the kickoff return, and this time gets down there on special teams to make the stop. And Margaretta set up at the 12-yard line with a 1st and 10 from their own 12. Kleinert in there as well.
Well, it was a pretty high kick, and then he let it. Zader let it bounce, and Foy was all over him by the time it came down into his arms after he fielded it on the first hop.
Sosa feeds Boggs. Boggs to the 15, across the 15, tripped up at the 18-yard line.
That's Boggs' biggest gain of the night.
A pickup of 6 to bring up 2nd down and 4. Tim, a little birdie told me that sandwiches were $1 now.
I don't need a sandwich. I'll probably fall asleep if I eat too much.
You just had that Baker's Pizzas. I mean, nothing.
That was plenty.
Yeah. It'll be Smetzer close to a 1st down. We'll see if he picks it up as he takes it off the right side. And it looks like they're going to give it to him.
Smetzer is actually the leading ground gainer for these guys with 33 yards on 4 carries.
Now they're actually going to keep it, or they're going to measure here. This will give us a chance. And our game brought to you in part by Matt and Tammy Studer at Ken Stand & Seam in New Washington. Scott Rule at the Galleon Tire Shop. Isaac Keene and Dylan Watt at McKeever & Associates Engineering and Surveying. Jim and Debbie Mays at J&F Construction, and Jim Spring and Tom Brown at Sprain Capital Management. And it will be good enough for a 1st down.
That's good because I already marked it. So it's on my
Don't
stats.
want to ruin your stats.
It's on my stats. I don't do these in pencil.
Can I say you do a great job at keeping stats?
I got a good sheet. These sheets, I don't know. I found them on the internet, and they make it pretty easy. Plus, Sister Lillian's math, 4th grade math, she taught me how to add everything in my head.
Nice. You certainly do it on the fly. And
there was no calculators, it was just some abacus.
And you don't even use a calculator.
No.
1st and 10 from the 23 here for the Polar Bears.
Uh-oh.
Quick snap, and
gosh.
flag comes in.
It's like, here, you take it. No, you take it. And he is not a happy
Boggs
camper.
not happy at all.
No.
I'm not sure what was going on.
I don't know. It hit the first of all, I don't think Sosa was ready for the snap, so it hit him in the hands and then went into the arms of Boggs, and Boggs was hoping for a whistle because he was standing there yelling at everybody about how the ball ended up in his hands, and he was about to get hit pretty hard when they finally blew it dead and caught a legal procedure.
1st and 15 now. Just underway here, 2nd half.
It was that sweep again to
Smetzer
Metzer.
on the sweep. Smetzer eludes one tackle, eludes another one across the 20, and powers his way forward to the 22. Close to the original line of scrimmage, picks up 4.
Yeah, hard run because it looked like he was going to be stopped for no gain.
Brought down by Ryan McMichael.
Broke several tackles and ended up gaining 4 yards.
2nd and 11 with 10:04 left to play here, 3rd quarter. Colonel Crawford leading 28-14. Margaretta, the first drive here of the 2nd half. Play clock at 12 as they break the huddle. Sosa in the gun. Boggs to his right. They'll fake the handoff to Boggs. Sosa rolls towards the right. Hit as he throws. Finds Keller again at the 40-yard line, or close to it. And they'll pick up the 1st down, and they'll mark him at the 38.
Tell you what, Judah Keller is a fine football player for a freshman.
Yeah, 5'11", 174 pounds. The freshman here, listed as a quarterback on the roster. 15 seconds on the play clock, 9:28 on the game clock. 3rd quarter, they'll snap it, and driving forward is Boggs on the carry.
Boggs on the carry.
Across the 40 to the 41. He'll pick up 3 yards, 2nd down and 7.
Well, like I said earlier, if Judah Keller is the son of Steve Keller, And his dad was quite a good athlete in both high school at playing for his dad. I believe at Oak Harbor, he played basketball for his dad and was a very, very good athlete and basketball player, and his fine football coach. Or basketball coach, excuse me.
Takes it, cuts it back inside, and is spun down at the 45. Hard run there from Smetzer, but he gets closer to a first down. It'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Matt Kleinert and Cam Lohr bring him down.
So we'll see. I mean, maybe this is 2-down territory.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. They're inside the 50, but football has changed a lot in the past few years with all the cybermetrics or whatever metric stuff they call it. I can't remember.
Analytics. Keeper Judah Keller and the Wildcat charges ahead across midfield, picks up the first down at the 48 of Crawford. And Margaretta so far with an impressive drive here to start this second half.
Yeah, moving the ball really well. Doing most of it on the ground with the exception of the one pass to Judah Keller for a first down. But very, very nice drive right here. The problem is it's chewing up a lot of clock.
7:45 on the clock. This drive taking up almost 5 minutes. It'll be Boggs on the inside run, and he will go nowhere. Maybe picks up a yard. Does Boggs on the carry. And he's slow to get up because he was really corralled by that Crawford defense and hit hard.
Well, he got hit hard, and then he was joined. The first tackler was joined by many in the black shirts. Keller comes out, which could be a good thing for the black shirts.
2nd down and 9. Margaretta has to get to the 39 or 38 to pick up a first down. Sosa in the gun. They'll send Lazader in motion. They'll throw it out in the flat, caught by Smetzer. Hit immediately at the 45-yard line. Catch made, and the tackle made by Cameron Lohr.
Brings up 3rd down and 6.
So 3rd down and 6 here for the Polar Bears. Only a pickup of 2.5 yards on the throw out in the flat.
Yeah, they just got Metzer out in the flat, but they came up. The Eagles came up and really stuck him quickly and took him to the ground. So just a 2.5, 3-yard gain, bringing up this big 3rd and 6.
And the gun is Sosa. Low snap through his legs, and he'll just fall on it at the 45. Luckily, there was not a penalty against Crawford. Kind of almost a late hit by Xander Fauser as he kind of dives on top of Sosa. And luckily for Crawford,
hurt a little bit too.
They don't pick up the penalty.
Fumble on the play is recovered by Margaretta. That'll bring up 4th down.
So bring up 4th down. Lucas Foy and Ethan Holt back to return here for the Eagles on 4th and 17 from their own 45.
Yeah, big change of events there.
They just get the punt away after the play clock was at 1. Foy's going to go backwards for a second, now turn it up, and good coverage this time by Margaretta. Austin Dillery in there to make the special teams tackle, and Colonel Crawford with their worst starting field position of the game.
Yeah, that's the first time Foy tried to use the same tactic he used in the first half, just heading to the right sideline trying to outrun everybody, but much better coverage by Margaretta and kept him pinned up at the 20-yard line.
And the only problem was that, like you mentioned, the clock took up a lot of time there on that drive by Margaretta.
Yeah, almost 7 minutes, and then they don't get anything.
They do flip the field position, but Lohr in the gun. One lone wide receiver wide to the right. They'll hand it off to Thomas. Thomas surges ahead to the 25.
And this is getting a little crazy right now. Coach Bruner's not very happy. What they're doing is Lohr's handing the ball off on that sweep, and they're just smacking him every time he hands it off. He doesn't have the ball. and they're just almost like blindsiding them. And Coach Bruner not very happy about it.
Sideline warning against Margaretta.
Against Margaretta. Sideline warning is the call.
So really, no penalty there, but if it happens again.
Well, it's funny. Margaretta gets a sideline warning. Coach Bruner was standing on the field screaming at the officials because Lohr got whacked again after he handed the ball off.
2nd and 5 from the 25. Lohr again hands it to Kleinert, sidesteps his way across the 30, picks up the first down and a yard more for Colonel Crawford.
The tackle was made by Kane Smetzer.
.445 to play here, third quarter. Crawford with a 14-point advantage.
Now what Crawford would really like to do is themselves go on a 5 or 6 minute drive here.
Be crazy with each team only exchanging one possession. They'll run it outside with Kleinert. Kleinert across the 35, dragging defenders before he's knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. He'll pick up 6, maybe 5 yards on the play.
But a good gain on first down. It allows them to stay ahead of the sticks here and be able to continue to run the football. And if they can continue to run the football, they're going to just chew this clock and shorten this game.
Lohr fakes the handoff to Thomas.
Well, he's got him.
Across the middle, fires it to Trevor Vogt, and he reaches up and can't make the catch. And you can kind of tell that Trevor Vogt isn't 100%.
Well, he actually had 2 guys. They were both running deep post patterns, and he had Vogt in the middle of the field, and he had number 19, who I don't have a roster in front of me. Who's number 19 for Crawford, Jared?
Ryan McMichael.
So they had McMichael also there on the sideline, then running a deep post.
And Trevor Vogt has come off the side, and he'll be out for a little bit. Lohr takes it. Keeper to the 40. Spins down at the 40. They stop him shy of a first down. Colonel Crawford wants to go for it. At least the players do. Go. Micah Thomas does, but it's 4th and 1. And it looks like Colonel Crawford is going to punt.
Yes, the excitement of youth wanted to go for it.
Well,
but the veteran coach is saying, we're up 2 touchdowns, let's punt.
Well, I remember the veteran coach earlier in the press box said, we're not going to go for it. But Crawford had better field position if they would have.
Yeah.
Kleinert punts it away.
Good punt.
And it is a beautiful punt. Bounces inside the 10 as Jordan Lazader lets it fall and bounces inside the 10. Crawford downs it at the 7-yard line.
I'm sure Coach Quizno is also saying, again, what if Gage Bodie was back there? He would probably catch it.
$2:49 left here, third quarter.
Are they bringing these in for free, or do we have to pay the $1?
I don't know. You check it out, Tim. I'll watch the game. You got this.
I'm going to just watch the game. I really don't need a sandwich.
You sure?
No, I'm good.
Sure. 28-14, Crawford with the lead. Margaretta with the ball at the 7-yard line. And there's a penalty flag that flies. Okay, thank you. Go against Margaretta. Looks like a illegal procedure called by your favorite referee.
Here we go. Half the distance to goal line, so.
Illegal procedure is the call against.
What do we got down there, Jerry?
Margaretta.
There's a pork loin. You want that? Or a Bratwurst.
I'll take the brat. I like the brat.
Okay.
You can have the pork loin.
Okay. Thanks to Colonel Crawford for the sandwiches.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
$2.47. We get a little snack.
Little pre-dinner, I should say. Ball's at the 3-yard line now, a 1st and 14. They're going to keep it with the quarterback. It'll be the Wildcat with Keller. And he is denied any forward momentum. Parker Ketterman on the stop. And Margaretta really backed up.
It's really the first time they've stopped him on any of the quarterback sweep stuff once they've thrown him in there at quarterback.
So 2nd down and 13. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to play 3rd quarter. Colonel Crawford leading 28-14. Same score that was at halftime. Sosa back to pass in his own end zone, and they do the throwback this time, and it was intended for Smetzer out on the left side, and he was open, but it falls just short of him. Trying to run the same play that Crawford did to pick up the 1st down on 2nd and 3rd and long. And this time, Margaretta cannot convert, and it's 3rd down and 13. 2:01 to play here, 3rd quarter. On this 3rd and 13.
Once again, huge down because
line to gain is the 19-yard line.
And they're deep in their own territory, and their punter not very good.
This could be the momentum shift to finally finish off Margaretta. Sosa eludes the defenders, and he carries it out to the 15-yard line. He's not going to pick up the 1st down. Sosa just shy, and I would assume Margaretta would punt. Although at this point, would 140 left here, 3rd quarter.
Got a whole quarter.
Yeah.
So they're all right.
I'd still go for it, but we'll see if.
Well, you know,
I mean, it's
to be honest,
call, yeah.
So much of it changes just because their lack of a kicking game right now.
Yeah. High snap, but fielded. Decent punt this time. Foy comes up, makes the fair catch at the 40-yard line. So a decent punt, but Colonel Crawford still with great field position. Tonight's high school football broadcast is brought to you live and free on the OH Report thanks to our generous sponsors, Burkhart Farm Center. Farmers helping farmers. Stop by their location in Bucyrus. Baker's Pizza. We are proud of our service to the community and even more proud to be the place to go after every local game or to watch your favorite team in action. Come join us today for a great meal and a great time with friends and family. Lacey Construction, kitchens, baths, roofing and siding in Ashland, Ohio. Experience you can trust. First Federal Community Bank, banking locally just got a little easier. North Central State College, providing individuals with the knowledge, skills, and inspiration to succeed in their chosen paths.
Wide open again.
Foy makes the catch, tiptoeing along the sideline as Lure dropped back the pass and completes the pass to the 27 and another 1st down. And this is really where Colonel Crawford, I mean, with that great field position, they can kind of cap it off right here if they find the end zone.
Absolutely. You know, you just can't keep giving them short fields after short field after short field, and it just kills you. And but Crawford taking advantage of it by moving the ball when they get to short field.
Kleinard goes to the left of Lure. Thomas motions towards the right side of the line. They'll feed it to Kleinard. Kleinard along the right side, trying to find his way, and it's taken down out of bounds, and this will be a late penalty flag.
Margaretta just not showing a whole lot of discipline at this point.
Judah Keller, the one to drag him out of bounds, and the freshman this time makes the freshman mistake. And this will be the personal foul against the Polar Bears, and this will be all the way now inside the 10-yard line.
Personal foul against Margaretta is the call. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. 1st and goal for the Eagles.
So 1st and goal now, and it will be marked down at the 6. Huge penalty against Margaretta.
Yeah, you just can't do those things if you got any chance of making a comeback, and you can't give them extra first downs and extra plays.
Officials timeout. And did they mark it wrong to begin with?
How tough is it? You got to count to 15.
I mean, to me, it should be inside the 10 because he was dragged down inside the 20.
Placed at the 11-yard line.
So place it at the 11.
Unless he decided it was half the distance.
Was assessed.
That seems like more of the case. Half the distance on the penalty. So 1st and 10. It looks like they can pick up a first down at the 6-inch yard line. Lohr under center. Feeds it Thomas. Thomas working his way, bowling forward, still dragging defenders around the 5. He's to the 6, picks up 5 yards. This Micah Thomas looking for touchdown number 4 if he's the one who finds the end zone.
Stanley in on the stop.
Crawford leading 28-14 and a 2nd and 5. 33 seconds now on the game clock here, 3rd quarter. 15 on the play clock. Crawford a little late getting the play call in, but still some time here as it just now reaches 6 seconds and they're to the line. Lohr to Thomas. Thomas cuts it back inside, powers forward, dives into the end zone, touchdown. Crawford, Micah Thomas, touchdown number 4.
Well, just keep running that ball off tackle, and Thomas just keeps chugging along, breaking tackles, pushing the pile, and into the end zone he goes.
A 6-yard touchdown run with 12 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Braxton Morton, your FC Bank extra point.
Braxton Morton adds the point after.
I think there's
something. It is good.
There may be something wrong with the clock.
So that's 12 seconds.
And I think there's more than 12 seconds left in the game.
35-14 with 12 seconds.
Oh, that's in the 3rd quarter.
In the 3rd quarter.
All right, now I got it.
You're watching high school football on the OH Report, along with listening on WBCO.
Take a look at all the action from Friday night football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Kickoff goes out of bounds here for Colonel Crawford. They lead it 35-14. Micah Thomas with his 4th rushing touchdown on the night. And you're getting to the point now, unless Margaretta can score here on the final 12 seconds of the 3rd quarter, this game's pretty close to being sealed.
Yeah, they're going to have to move the ball quickly, and that is something other than the kickoff return that they haven't really shown that they can do, is score quickly. And so, I mean, the first drive of this half was a perfect example. They kept the ball over 5 minutes, and came up with no points.
So 35-14. It'll be Sosa in the gun. Smetzer towards the right is Judah Keller on the Wildcat, and he gets nowhere once again. Colonel Crawford sniffed that one out from the beginning, and that takes us to the end of the third quarter. Micah Thomas has another touchdown in the quarter. He has 4 on the night. Extends the Colonel Crawford lead to 35-14. 12 minutes on the clock here as we'll start quarter number 4 when we come back.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with a kick return touchdown.
Back here at Colonel Crawford, where the Eagles have a 35-14 lead. Margaretta with the ball, 2nd and 9 from their own 36, trailing by 21. And it's do or die time now for the Polar Bears.
This is they need to score here, and you know the worst part is they need to do it quickly, and I'm not sure. Here's a reverse
pass. They have a receiver open and knock down defense. Ryan McMichael with the pass breakup.
Yeah, McMichael was beat a little bit early, but he was able to gain ground as the ball was in the air and knock it down. Big play there. And you know, they tried to run a little reverse pass, a little trickery and deceit. But, you know, Keller's been a receiver the whole game, so, you know, it wasn't that, you know, you could say, oh, we got a quarterback playing wide receiver, we got to watch it. But it was well defended, well-designed play, but well defended by the Eagles.
So a 3rd and 9 now for Margaretta. Like you said, Ryan McMichael wasn't fooled on the play, makes the pass breakup.
Well, it just showed really good discipline on the part of the whole defense, but especially McMichael. Now they jump. They show a lack of discipline. I give them a compliment, and they kill me.
Jacob Moss jumps off sides on the encroachment. So more manageable now for Margaretta. Does that change the play call, in your opinion? You're on 3rd
well,
and
would it
4.
really? Oh, I think so, because, you know, now you can run the ball here and run it again on 4th down, and it's probably a lot more makeable than it was if, you know, 3rd and 9, you're going to throw it, and 4th and 9, I don't think you're going to go for it at that point. But now this changes the whole deal here.
3rd and 4 from their own 41. Sosa rolling towards the left, steps up, fires it, and it's almost picked off. Gabe Boo.
Gabe showed why he's a linebacker and not a wide receiver. Because he had great coverage. He is right there, and, you know, it kind of hit him in the chest, and he didn't pull it in, but great coverage there.
Are they punting it?
Yeah, they're coming in to punt.
I don't think I would do that. You're down by 21 with 11 minutes and 50 seconds. You're basically waving the white flag.
Well, I don't know. You're not if you think you can get him stopped. But
and it's not going to happen. He's not going to get there. Matt Kleinert, was he in there? Jacob Moss stops it.
And McMichael
and Ryan McMichael
Crawford will take over on down.
And Ryan McMichael with a couple huge plays, one defensively, now one on special teams. He wasn't fooled at all.
Well, it looked like, Crawford did a good job. I think they just left their base defense on the field and sent some guys deep, and kind of expecting that could be the case, that they're going to get a fake kick, and defended it very well.
So 11:43 left here in the game. Moore's going to sling it wide open, and it's dropped.
Don't see that very often.
It was a little bit short of Kleinert at the 30-yard line, and once again, the wheel route.
Well, Kleinert all year is showing really good hands, so it's really a surprise that he dropped that one, but, that happens. But, yeah, well-designed play. Had Kleinert out in the flat again, and Lohr made a good throw with a guy right in his face, ready to hit him as soon as he released it.
2nd and 10 now from the 43. On Margaretta's side of the field, they'll feed it. Kleinert off right inside across the 35, back inside across the 30. Kleinert still working his way forward. Finally tackled at the 27-yard line, and a 16-yard pickup for Matt Kleinert.
Another first down for the Eagles, just what they needed.
So 1st and 10.
Keep that clock moving.
Yep, 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the game. Scrimmage at the 27.
Great job by Kleinert, made up for his drop pass by running for the first down instead.
So Lohr in the gun. They're going to let the play clock drip all the way down under 5 seconds. Once again, Kleinert this time stuffed. Maybe he falls forward for a yard pickup.
Matt Kleinert on the carry, gain it 1.
We're bring up 2nd down and 9.
Dylan Gibson gets the tackle.
And Margaretta's hopes here of extending their football season are hanging in the balance with 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game.
Different possessions for some of them. Veteran Colonel Crawford team, and they know how to milk the clock, and they are doing just that on every down, snapping it with under 5 seconds to go.
And some late substitutions added in, and Crawford's going to take a timeout. We'll take one as well. 35-14 Crawford with 10:13 to play. You're listening to high school football on WBCO, along with watching on the OH Report.
I'm Travis Big League Berardi. Catch me every week with my Country Roads rankings. We'll go over the small school top 10 football schools here in the area.
(35-14). Kleinert on the run.
There they finally called it. About time. That's ridiculous.
And Lohr is hit hard, and the ref decides to push Jake Bruner to the sidelines. Jake Bruner is not happy at all. And why? Why would he be?
Well, why would he be? They got to play next week.
Yeah.
They're hitting his quarterback and just burying him to the ground 2 steps after he's handed the ball off.
Yeah, it wasn't anywhere near the play.
Personal foul.
So we'll give Crawford the first down
15-yard penalty.
after the 15-yard penalty.
At the 12-yard line.
5 first downs now for the Eagles in this half.
10:07 left here in the game. 1st and 10 from the 12. Officials, what now?
I don't know. Speaking of hockey.
What is happening?
I don't know. They're making 77 come off the field.
Is he the one who hit him?
I don't think he was. 71's coming out. So
It looks like he might be even hurt.
Injury timeout.
So I don't know, but all I know it's 1st and 10 from the 12.
Crawford,
and,
12
Crawford
yards out from
Crawford is really
sealing
going
the
to
deal.
really put this one away if they score here.
1st and 10 from the 12, 35-14. Crawford on top with 9 minutes, 50 seconds left here in the game. Kleinert takes the handoff inside the 10, inside the 5, towards the pylon. You can seal the deal. Crawford with the touchdown. Matt Kleinert from 12 yards out. And Colonel Crawford now with a 41-14 advantage.
Yeah, just ran a little buck sweep, and Kleiner got to the corner untouched and continued in untouched into the end zone.
Braxton Morton into a tip, the extra point brought to you by FC Bank, your friendly community bank. For the hold, flag flies, it was good. False start is the call.
That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
I wonder what his traveling calls like in basketball.
I don't know. He's pretty
aggressive with his
yeah
false start penalty.
Pretty emphatic.
Yes.
The emphatic call.
He's getting into it. So just back it up 5 yards. And now it's like a 25-yard extra point for Braxton Morton. And another flag comes in. And
no, they went offside. So now we're going back 5 yards the other way.
Penalty against Margaretta.
Sheesh.
They'll move it up 5 to the original
He's
line
emphatic
and
on that signal as well.
You like it?
Yeah, not really.
I wonder what his blocking calls like in basketball as well.
Or the charge. He'd be one of those.
Oh, he would probably take 5 steps and give that charge call.
I would probably get assessed technical fouls.
Well, put it back into the original extra point, and Braxton Morton connects again. 42-14, Matt Kleiner, a 12-yard touchdown run, and Crawford has pretty much iced this one away. 9 minutes, 44 seconds left here in the game, and Crawford eventually moving on to face Carey. 42-14, 9:44 to play. We'll be back.
Do we have a...
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more. Every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
9 minutes, 44 seconds to play here in the game. Colonel Crawford. 42, Margaretta 14. Margaretta, I believe they touched it. It's picked up by Lazander at the 15. Sidesteps his way down the sideline and runs out of bounds at the 25. There's the Lazander. 9:39 now left in the game, and 1st and 10 from the 25. But this game, Tim, was really sealed on that 12-yard touchdown run by Matt Kleiner.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's all over now but the shouting. And now the biggest question is, can Crawford stop one more time and score and let the clock run?
Pick 6. Let's do it.
Could be. They've had a couple opportunities where they've had the ball in their hands.
Say Margaretta has to throw now, right?
I would think.
Nope, they're going to run. Smetzer tries to cut it back inside across the 25, spins his way to the 27.
On the carry.
Pickup of 2.
Gain of 2.
And it's 2nd down and 8 here for the Polar Bears.
Rodney Reich in on the stop.
Yeah, Colonel Crawford with quite a few players out. Vogt, Horsley, Tanner Dyer. But Micah Thomas has really stepped up huge, obviously, with those 4 touchdowns. Again, the run. It looked like Boggs this time.
Boggs done nothing the whole game.
Yeah,
When
Colonel
all said and
Crawford.
done, they've really shut him down.
We talked about in the pregame. He had to
28
have a
yards
huge
on
game.
11 carries.
Yeah, had to have a huge game, and he has not.
Yeah, those front 7 have been very, very good for the Colonel Crawford Eagles tonight.
8 minutes, 40 seconds left in the game on a 3rd and 8. Now for Margaretta. Makes me think of margarita pizza. No, you don't like it?
Well, I mean, I like it, but I've had enough pizza already today.
Along with a nice bratwurst patty.
Yeah, that was very kind of the concession stand to bring their since this is their final home game, they wanted to unload, I'm sure, all of their goods.
They brought the whole pork in.
They
knew got rid of it.
They knew just where to bring it.
You know, media members and food. It's always there. So 8:22 left in the game. Timeout here by Margaretta. Okay, so I think we can officially look forward to that Kerry Crawford matchup next week. With Crawford leading 42-14 in only 8 minutes and 22 seconds to play. It was a nail-biter last time out. There was a couple key calls, a non-pass interference. Colonel Crawford gave up a touchdown on the very next play to Kerry in this same facility. What do you expect next week from both teams?
Very much the same. It's going to be a slugfest and a big brawl, and someone's going to make a big play here and there, and that's probably going to be the team that wins the game. But both teams, I'm sure, will keep it conservative on offense, try to run the football, as they both did. I'm not sure the difference being Crawford, as they showed tonight, they're capable of hitting a couple passes.
Smetzer on the carry, and he's going nowhere once again. Held up around the line of scrimmage. A loss of a half a yard, and it's 4th down here for Margaretta.
But, you were asking about that, so I just think the big difference is going to be Colonel Crawford is Lower's shown that he can throw the ball, hit a few passes. Even in the second half tonight without Vogt, they were able to hit a couple guys. And I'm not sure Kerry can do that.
Kick is away. Lucas Foy calls for the fair catch at the 43, and he makes the fair catch at the 43. And what could be one final drive here without a running clock.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Now the game's starting to kind of extend into blowout, but not running clock territory. And 7:41 left. It's 42-14. Colonel Crawford. 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage at the 43. And Lohr is back out there at quarterback. So.
Well, that's good. We got the starter still in there. Might as well try to get another score.
And you also have to, this is the time of year where you got to practice for next week.
Absolutely.
You're not looking to not hurt anybody's feelings. It's time to play ball, and if you can't stop them, then that's what's going to happen. It's playoff time, so they're not going to rest their guys just because. Lohr to throw here on 1st down, looking across the middle, tipped and incomplete, a little high, intended for Tristan Baker. And we have a Margaretta defender down.
I think that's that big nose tackle.
Lohr's pass intended for Baker falls incomplete, brings up 2nd down.
Not Evan. There it is. Anthony Flewelling, 6'4", 302 pounds. He's a big young man.
Yeah, he is a big guy out there. And he slams his helmet to the grass. And it looks like his night might be done.
Well, the Eagles came out throwing through a long pass downfield. I have a feeling that personal foul when they slammed Lord to the ground has maybe fired up the Colonel Crawford sideline a little bit and saying, well, we need to get another score here to send a message.
7:36 to play in the game. Lore feeds Kleinert. He spins out of a tackle across the 45 and dragged down
Matt Kleinert ahead
by Judah Keller at the 48. Pick up a 5 there for Kleinert.
And it's getting a little chippy.
It's almost to the point where
there was another Colonel Crawford guy just got whacked that was way far away from the ball. And the refs are going to have to keep an eye on things, or this could get a little ugly.
Crawford's done a nice job, though, of holding their composure in those
Yes, they
moments. have. 3rd and 6, and the gun is Lore. Again, it's Kleinert on the carry. Kleinert runs into a wall of Margaretta defenders. And the whistle blows forward. Progress was made. And brings up 4th down.
Well, now we can see exactly how upset the sideline is and see if they will fake punt.
I hope they do.
Brings up 4th down for the Eagles.
I think they're going to punt it. Last time Kleinert hit a good one. Took it down to, what, the 4-yard line? And here we go. Another.
False start against the Eagles. 5-yard penalty here.
The refs starting to control the clock.
Yeah, but not in a good way because they keep stopping it.
Yes. This might be the longest 6 minutes and 7 seconds of your life, Tim.
Hopefully I will stay awake for all 6 of it.
I don't know, you were feeling comfy in this patio chair behind
I know.
us.
I can't see the game, unfortunately.
And Kleinert gets the punt away. Fumble.
Fumbled it.
Muffs the punt, and Crawford has it. There we go. There's the turnover you're looking for. Parker Ketterman recovers the muff punt. And now they're in business. Now we'll see if we can get the running clock.
You know, we haven't had that not happen very often this year. We've had a lot of running clocks, so this could continue our streak. Did we have one last week? No, that was a one touchdown.
Game, yeah.
Oh yeah, that was 56-49. That was right to the end. Just a lot of touchdowns.
Yes, a ton. No defense.
Not much at all.
Kleinert on the carry, around the corner, inside the 15, tripped up at the 10 by Lazader, but not before Kleinert picks up 22 on the carry.
Yeah, Kleinert has quietly gained 120 yards tonight.
Now
on 15 carries.
Crawford's offensive lines sealed the edge. And Kleinert carried it around the corner for the 1st down. 1st and goal from the 9. 5 minutes, 20 seconds. Let's see if they can punch it in here from 9 yards out and really seal it up. Lore inside handoff. Thomas dragging defenders.
See, there he goes again. I'm telling you, Margaretta.
That's number 65.
Likes
again.
to play to the, what do they call it, the echo of the whistle?
Yeah. 2nd and goal from the 8. Seems like it's the same guy every time there. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left. At this point, if you're Coach Brunner, you just got to say, let's get out of here.
Absolutely.
2nd and 8, 2nd and goal from the 8. Another handoff. Kleinert carrying it on the corner, inside the end zone. Touchdown. Kleinert from 8 yards out. Caps it off with an exclamation point.
As much as we thought this was going to be a very even matchup, it is proving not to be.
Matt Kleinert with a second touchdown run of the night.
He's also got 128 yards on 16 carries. So him and Thomas have been quite the 1-2 punch tonight, with Matt Lohr just doing his thing as he always does.
Braxton Morton,
or Cam Lohr, excuse me,
knocks in the extra point, brought to you by FC Bank, your friendly community bank. It is Colonel Crawford 49, Margaretta 14, 4:25 to play when we come back.
What's up, America? Brian Skoronsky here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively, right here on the OH Report.
Braxton Morton set to kick off here with that 49-14 advantage, and the clock will run. Beautiful kick by Morton, fielded at the 5 across the 20, and skipping through to the 25 is Lazader. So 4:11 left in the game with that 49-14 advantage here for the Eagles.
Tackle made by Xander.
We talk about looking forward to next week. Crawford beats Riverdale 49-6. Or excuse me, Cary beats Riverdale 49-6. And what should be one heck of a rematch at Cary next week.
Absolutely, yeah, it should be a real good game.
And a fumble in the backfield, miscommunication by Sosa and Boggs. And it's just the epitome of this game so far for Margaretta.
4 yards on the play.
They pretty much fall on it. Colonel Crawford defensively back there for the loss on the play. 2nd down and 14 from the 21. This game brought to you in part by the Frank House family at My Floors, Bucyrus Road on the west side of Gallion. Joe Kleiman Associates at the Gallion offices of First Federal Bank of Ohio. Lawrence Vaughn at Wise, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Upper Sandusky. Carry here on 2nd down for Margaretta and Boggs. He gets close to the original line of scrimmage. Game also brought in part by Donovan Scott at Steve Reinhardt at the Scott Reinhardt Seed Company, Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit, Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead, and Marion, and the Ecken family at Elliott Machine in Gallion, along with Dr. Erica Schieber at Bucyrus Veterinary Service, and Dwayne Watts and Doug Fout at the Watts House of Insurance. 2:35 left here in the game. Smetzer on the carry around the left side, and Smetzer hit and dropped at the 27-yard line. A pickup of 3 yards there for Smetzer. And now it is 4th down and 8.
In on the tackle.
A little bit chilly here tonight.
Yeah, it's getting a little cooler. Fall is finally here in Ohio, and as it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Of course, our guys outside are making fun of us that And, well, they should be.
How's the toes feeling, Hayden? Says perfect.
They're still all there.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week.
Yeah, you never know. It could be 70 or it could be snowing.
I'm not ready for snow yet. I don't think that's a good idea to bring that up, Tim.
What the heck.
Seneca East falls tonight to Hopewell Loudon, kind of as expected.
Hopewell Loudon, a good football team. They have a good program for a long time.
Yeah, and they beat this Margaretta team. Really, that Carey and Crawford matchup. Next week is what we're definitely looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. Should be a fine football game, just like it was the first time.
Listen to the Friday night phone board, 419-562-2222. Give Davy Jones a call tonight after your game. He'll include all the matchups happening next week. He'll have special guest Jeff Ruth in studio. Punt is away. And Lucas Foy says, I'm just going to run towards the sideline. And lets it fall on the other sideline, where it'll be down at the 32. So Crawford takes a couple knees here, and this one will be over. Any other games that you had your eye on tonight, Tim?
Well, the Freds were playing at Eastwood tonight. I don't think it was a very good matchup for the Freds. I think they could be in a little bit of trouble, but I hope they at least played well and made a game of it.
Yeah, Galleon lost to Bellevue, so Gallion's season is over. In their season at 6-5 after making the playoffs. Laura under center.
No, Laura's out.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. That's Baker. And they're going to run it, and they're going to fumble it, but I believe it was picked back up by Colonel Crawford at the 31. As in there under center is Peyton Baker, the freshman quarterback. So clock ticking under a minute now, and Crawford time for one more play. Ohio State tomorrow on WQEL. Tune into that. Game starts at noon as they travel to Penn State. What's your thoughts on that game?
I think the Buckeyes will beat the spread.
What is the spread?
I don't know. 14, 15, something like that. 19. 17 and a half.
Okay. There's a carry on second down by Bryson Hunt. And that should be the last play of the game, and it will be. Crawford comes in. They score on their first two drives of the game, and they will advance to the second round here. And Coach Bruner takes a timeout with 1 second on the clock. Did he? Did he take a timeout? No. They're shaking hands. I thought he took a timeout.
You better not have.
He's talking to the official like he did. He's not happy. But this one is over. 49-14 is your final score tonight. Colonel Crawford winners over Margaretta. They will advance to face Carey in the next round next week in a rematch and try to avenge their 7-3 loss earlier in the season. 49-14 your final. Stay tuned. We'll wrap this thing up after these messages.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown. He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
Going to cheerleading camp next to the abandoned insane asylum. It's like throwing your blood away.
50% of Americans like watching blood get spilled in horror movies, but only 3% donated.
Now that's scary.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more. Every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Hello everyone and welcome back inside of Colonel Crawford. The Eagles victorious tonight over the Pole Bears of Margaretta. The game you just saw go down live and free on the OH Report. Again, your final score, Margaretta 14 as the Polar Bears season comes to a close. Colonel Crawford 49. They get a big win tonight and they will advance to the next round in this year's tournament where they'll take on the Cary Blue Devils, the rematch that everyone's been waiting for So a very exciting outcome and tough opponent ahead for Colonel Crawford. But tonight they took care of business, 49-14. A reminder, coming up tonight at 11:30 p.m., the Friday Night Pigskin. I want to invite you to tune in. We'll have highlights of all 6 live games that we covered here this evening. And looking forward to bringing those to you live and free on our Facebook page and main YouTube channel at 11:30 p.m. So just want to remind you to tune in. Keep it here with us after the break, too. We are going to be speaking to tonight's player of the game, so that will be on the other side of this break, as well as any final thoughts. So keep it here. Just a few extra moments. We'll have our player of the game for Colonel Crawford after they finish up ringing the victory bell. And see you on the other side in just a few seconds.
He's going to send a line drive down the field. It'll be fielded on the bounce. That is Schieffer. Schieffer finds a hole at the center. Schieffer turns on the burners. Schieffer could go. He's at the 50, 45. He's got one man to beat. Schieffer with the ball in his left hand. He's going to take it to the house. Whitford opens up the second half with the kick return touchdown.
Going to cheerleading camp next to the abandoned insane asylum, it's like throwing your blood away.
50% of Americans like watching blood get spilled in horror movies, but only 3% donate it.
Now that's scary.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Joining me now is our Baker's Pizza Player of the Game, brought to you again by Baker's Pizza, and it's Colonel Crawford's Micah Thomas. Phenomenal night on the ground for you tonight, Micah. 3 touchdowns. Just kind of take me through what you saw tonight from the Polar Bear defense and how you were able to just kind of, find those waves and pass into the end zone for 3 scores.
Well, I would like to thank this time last year I was standing on the sideline because I tore my ACL. So I don't like bragging, but I've overcame some adversity. So it's just me just getting low, and I just see the holes, and I just keep on going.
That is a huge thing. That's a tough injury to come back from, and I think something that's come about probably this year is just seeing how well of a pair you and Matt are. 5 total touchdowns combined between the two of you tonight. What does a backfield with you and Matt in there at all times really cause problems for the defense? And how have you guys adapted that this season?
Well, me and Matt, we both really like to block for each other, and that's where it starts. It starts from the blocking. I love my own line to death. They are the best they're just the best, and it's an honor basically just being with them and running behind them. But it's so hard to match up against us because I'm the bigger back, so like in the short yard situations I usually run the ball, but then Matt just goes hits the edge and he just goes.
And then finally, it was a closely contested matchup already earlier this season. I'm sure all you guys are itching for that second shot. You're going to have Carey next week. What needs to be done, or how will you prepare differently or similarly this week ahead of what happened earlier in the year?
I don't really think that we're going to prepare differently. I think we're going to prepare the same way that we did against them the very first time because we played them very tough. It was just key moments and a couple plays that really changed the game.
All right, Michael. Well, finally, there was a ton of people watching tonight. If they weren't here, which this was a packed house, they were watching on here. So if there's anyone you want to give a shout-out to, I'll let you do so.
Well, I want to give a shout-out to my grandma and grandpa and my mom and dad and all my family that was out here supporting me. And Keaton Cooper, of course. He works for OH.REPORT.
That's right. Keaton does work for us. One more time, our Baker's Pizza player of the game tonight, Micah Thomas, 3 rushing touchdowns and a huge first-round victory. Congrats, Micah, and good luck next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll take one last break, and we'll be right back to say goodbye. Hello and welcome back one last final time to Colonel Crawford. The Eagles victorious 49-14. Just heard from our MVP, sponsored by Baker's Pizza, Micah Thomas. And speaking of sponsors, would like to thank one last time everyone that was a part of tonight's broadcast. Burkhart Farm Center, farmers helping farmers. Stop by their location in Bucyrus today. Baker's Pizza, we're proud of our service to the community and even more proud of the place to go after every local game or to watch your favorite team in action. Come join us today for a great meal and a great time with friends or family. Lacey Construction, kitchens, baths, roofing, and siding in Ashland, Ohio. Experience you can trust. First Federal Community Bank, banking locally just got a little easier. And North Central State College, providing individuals with the knowledge, skills, and inspiration to succeed in their chosen paths. Would like to thank Tim Birie and Jared Moore of WQEL WBCO Radio, obviously doing a great job tonight on the call and for the work that they've done with us so far this season. Also, one of our commercial sponsors tonight. You saw them up in the left-hand corner of your screen. So thank you to them for joining us again, as always. A huge thank you to you, the fans, for tuning in tonight. You're the reason why we do it, and look forward to coming out and bringing you more coverage as the tournament progresses on. And then finally, would love to give a huge shout out to Athletic Director Bruner here at Colonel Crawford, literally coming out today and setting up this wooden table in the bleachers to ensure that we could come live stream the game. So thank you to them. Thank you to the Ohio High School Athletic Association. And thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to Nick Jacobs, my camera operator tonight. And that is all. So signing off one last time for Colonel Crawford, 49-14 over Margaretta. Thanks for watching. Live and free high school football on the OH Report, powered by BS Media Productions, the future of local sports. Thanks for tuning in tonight, folks, and we'll see you next time. All right, you can tear down. Or we can, but you can start.